What is... I am wanting to toy around with this 2511. This is my oldest one. I mean, I have another one that's like all scrap stuff built together, so, you know, that one technically might be the older one. I don't know. I'm going to try some different things. Get this little piece of plastic. I've seen, you know, some people doing this. Other little modifications, I don't know. I might do a lot with this chainsaw. Good morning, Tony. Pretty good. Pretty risky operation. I don't want little plastic frays and fines having a chance of getting in the intake, into the carburetor, into the cylinder or whatever. So I don't know if that did much better. I think I got it. Feels a little funny. Alright, got that thing out of there. Maybe a tiny little gain, who knows? Alright, so that's the air filter. Taking out the carburetor. Fuel line. wears off and it's got some gunk on it. Oh boy. What are you up to today, Tony? What's going on with y'all? I should get myself a little magnetic tray here going, where I can keep some of this stuff going on. What's wrong with you? Silence of the Hams. Yeah, it's early as fuck. Be careful. Not much, man. Cool, there you are. Yeah, today I'm just getting some work done on the truck, so I got to drop it off and pick it up later. But not till like 9 o'clock, so this is, my oldest 2511. That's the Ripsaw 2511. Oh, that's right, this one's a different size. It's not like the 201s and all that. It's this little black socket. Yep, there it is. That was just spinning. Okay, here's that. So I have a new piston, and I know with these saws, after a while it feels like they're losing. No, that's back to the, the flywheel's a different one. Clutch goes back to the green. There we are. Where are from? In Florida. Saw could use a good cleaning. I don't know. Maybe I'll just. No, I'm gonna get these screws out because it needs to be cleaned anyway. That wasn't bad. I'll pop the screws back in just to make it easier of where everything goes real quick. Just like the pull start cover, I've got the 3 screws over with that one. What else needs to be done here? Worm gear looks good. It's got a little washer back there. Doesn't want to come out right now, it'll fall away later. I'll find it. Yeah, this is always good to do. It's behind this cover and in the oiler. It's gonna be really dirty. There it is. forgot about it for a second, blew in there, and then it went flying. We're getting there. Couple of screws on the oiler. And again, make everything easier of where it's going to go real quick. Help things out. That right there, throw the plastic in there. Maybe a little more in there. Yeah. Alright, the flywheel. Wonder if it's this same size. It probably is. We got the flywheel puller. Is the threading the same? Yes, it is. Usually just hit it with a hammer and a punch. But I have a flywheel puller now, and I have another flywheel puller coming that's going to be for the 661. It's a bigger one that threads on there. I'll keep this handy. This red one was out to adjust my rope runner. I got the new rope runner, OG style, the old one, but you know, nice and new. It's the BFF. Yeah, got it. The 661 flywheel that I wanted to take off to advance the timing is really on there. So, and it's a different threading than that, and I couldn't get it with the punch, so that's like the second or third time I've had an issue with that flywheel. That saw, at least that model, you know, that thing is really on there. So I ordered a flywheel puller. I don't know if any timing was advanced on this. I do not think so. No, there's room in there, so timing is advanced a little bit, or at least has the ability to be. Dude, super junky. Might be time to bust out the parts cleaner. Oh yeah, these things. This is gonna fall out. This goes right here for the chain brake, and it's gonna fall out. You don't want to lose that. That's a really necessary part for having your chain brake working nicely. I'm just gonna get some gunk that builds up the flywheel scraped out of here. It's all over the ignition coil, the motor, and the bearing seals. Try to really avoid using the parts cleaner because it's just, you know, it's a mess. It smells, stinks up the garage, and it costs money. What's going on? What's going on? Can you add me to the live? Corbin Todd? I don't know. I've never done that. It's 6:15 a.m. here. Got to mess with the 2511 clone. Okay. What do I got? 6:22. It took me 7 minutes to respond to. What's up, John Bob? I'm revisiting my oldest 2511, and this isn't. Oh, it's so dirty. Air compressor running. Oh boy. Hey man, where'd you go? I left you hanging there. I'm gonna go spelunking into this area, see if I can find out where that screw went. There it is! It went right into this little cave. Oh, it's too funny. This is the first one I got. It was ported by Ripsaw, and I know they went wild on the exhaust on this one, and it doesn't have the torque like the other ones I make. And then I've got one that's like built out of a bunch of parts from, busted 2511s, and then I've got the new one that I made last year that's doing really well. But I figured I'd dismantle this one and revisit it and check it out, see if there's anything I want to do to it, or if I just want to give it a fresh piston and give it a fresh go. I remember its first year, took down a lot of trees. And I didn't have the spikes on there at the time, so it had some torque issues, but not much because I didn't have the spikes. Once those spikes dog in, you're gonna find out whether you've got torque or not. More crud. So how are you, John Bob? We got Bucky Saws in here. Playing in the snow, 6 inches here. Damn, dude. I still haven't seen snow since I was like, an infant. Mine is still smoking along. Yeah, these things are awesome. This one's got some age. And it's done a lot of work. These things are great, man. You can just run them and run them and run them and cut huge stuff with them, and they don't get hot and they just keep going. I couldn't be happier with this little saw. There it is. Ooh, I wonder if I can get these 2 intake boot screws out with my new little pen magnet. Oh. Oh, I can. I found this thing at the hardware store. I was like, yes, that's what I need. Oh, that screw kind of went wonky. Oh, it still came out. That's awesome. My new best friend in the shop. Tiny little little magnet. That's great, man. When the kids grab that thing and try to play with it, I'm like, no, not that one. Grab the bigger one. That's my little pen magnet. Am I ready here? The intake boot is loose. I haven't dismantled one of these in some time. I believe that can just stay on there right now. Oh, you know, we're gonna find out. One. Two. Oh, some dirt in there. That's weird. That's two. But what is going on with the third? That'd be bad if I fucked it up and turned this into a turd. No, I got it. Scared me for a second there. Yeah, I'm doing something wrong here with this impact gun. I can't get the footing on it. Oh, dude. Well, this is embarrassing. I have never seen one of these screws mess up. I don't know what happened. Never have I ever had a 2511T Torx 27 screw strip out. Until now. Damn. Maybe I won't be revisiting this one. Oh, dude. And maybe it's because I need to replace this tip. Usually I run these until they find something that's too strong for them and snap them. Alright, tools. New Torx 27. What are you up to today, John Bob? That seems like it's got a good bite in there. Yeah, this one's getting kind of busted up and old and all right, let's see here. Got it. Oh yeah, the screw is just like, it's filled with some gunk. I'm going to replace this screw. Yes. The ones that are on the magnet on the wall back there that I'm always hollering at the kids at, like, don't touch those screws. They belong in a chainsaw. Let's throw that one in there. I got those ones there. Sweet. We have a motor. Now what? Now what are we gonna do? Who was in here with me? Bernie was in here with me. We were dismantling his. He's got the 355T, and dude, I could not get the clutch off that thing. And he looked it up, and there's a special tool for getting the clutch off. I was like, well, I don't want to just give up. I couldn't get it with the hammer and the punch. Couldn't get that thing to spin off. So, looking at the clutch, and what did I do with that tool? I took one of these Harbor Freight sockets that I got, and with the Dremel, and did the 3 cutouts that fit right on the clutch. And so after all of our putting a rope in there and hammering it, and him holding it and me hammering it and us going at it forever, this thing just backed it right out, you know. Tap, 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 and then it came out. He's like, that was it? It's like, that was it. Just need the right tool. Oh, I'm gonna put this away. Okay, maybe now some parts cleaner. Maybe a little bit. I don't know. This one's almost empty. G2 5000 still new in the box. What's that? I wish I would have kept some of the 2511s I had. That clutch is nice, man. That clutch tool is nice. Yeah, it's just a socket. Ugly, you know, ground out. It was effective. Fits around the way the clutch is designed, and that's funny that there's a specialty tool for that instead of them just having where you can throw a socket on it or a wrench, you know, whatever. Yeah, what is a G2 5000? It's a 50cc Husky by Johnsard by Red Max. Oh, okay. Buck, yeah, Saws knows what you're talking about. Let's try my new impact. Nice. There goes as that one. Now this one is not. They give you a skinnier screw in there so it can go around the pipe. Which I believe is going to be one of these metrics. At least I think. It might be standard. I don't know, it seems like that metric goes in there pretty freaking snug. Yeah. Clothes are dry. I'm getting my wheel well trim and the back wheel well inserts to cover up the white dirty paint inside the back wheel wells on the truck today. I've been wanting to do that for a while. It'll just look really nice. It's like the low profile wheel well covers. So it's not like these bulgy wheel well covers with bolts on them or anything like that, but it's I don't know. I love that truck. It's nice having that new truck. And I want it to look really nice. Did anybody see what I just did with that other screw? Oh, it's still in the pipe. You know, it's kind of funny that it comes out this exhaust and then goes into this little hole. There's like this huge flat spot that it's hitting, and there's not much anything you can do about that. I mean, it frickin' works. It flows. I always wondered if I should go in and kind of flange that out so maybe the air can, you know, not hit such a flat wall and get into the pipe a little better. Probably will do that. Do you guys wear masks or you know, buffs or cloths or anything like that when you're doing your grinding? Is there like an aluminum dust that's bad for your lungs that you don't see when you're grinding? I mean, I see little shavings, but on a microscopic scale, if you're grinding without a mask, are you breathing in aluminum? Good muffler mod works. Yeah, and you know what? I know how to braze now, and I have mufflers. I'm pretty sure I've got like brand new ones, hacked up ones, holes drilled ones, like everything that I've done along the way until where I am now. Like I've still got them all. I do wear a respirator. Yeah, like I'm working on stuff, and yeah, I started hearing about, you know, people wearing masks because they didn't want to breathe in the aluminum and stuff. Man, this thing's in good shape still, man. This is awesome. And the piston has what I can see, like little tiny scribe lines in it or whatnot, but like that's normal with these things. All right, let's have a look. Let's go all the way in. Why not? I'm not working today. So I went yesterday morning. I was sitting here at 6 a.m. and I haven't had a lot of work. Like this whole 6 months has been slow. If it wasn't for the tax return, I'd be close to losing my truck. I'm sitting here yesterday morning, 6 a.m. and I got to do something, you know. I got to go get a job. I've been working, but not nearly enough. So I head on down to Save-A-Tree was my first stop, and they were just heading out. And Keith was like, "Hey, what's up, man? Still no work?" Because I had spoken with him a few months ago, but they were really slow too. And he's like, "You want to come to work today?" So I ended up working yesterday, and there's a couple of guys there that are like, no call, no show. There's it's just not looking good as far as what they got going on right now. So like they really need me right now, and I've been having like this own internal call in to go down there and say what's up, man. They got bucket trucks, they got a lift, they've got like a giant grapple truck, they've got smaller trucks. I won't be aluminum dust that kills me. It won't be aluminum dust that... Right? Yeah, it'll be something else, man. Damn. That's how it was at Save a Tree in here in Pennsylvania. Some called out every day. Yeah, it's not as much money as I'm used to making, but I wouldn't be doing it full time either. It would just be like, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, or Thursdays and Fridays, because my son and where he goes to school and where Save a Tree is and him being at grandma's, like, I wouldn't see him all week, like, because of the commute and the huge separation of triangle of the path and everything. Like, I'd have to leave him at grandma's on Monday and come back to pick him up on Friday, because it's like this county to this county to this county. It's 3 counties, so it would only be 2 or 3 days a week. That way I could drop him at grandma's and then go to work and then go home and then work, then home, and then after work on Friday pick him up and go home. Otherwise it would just be way too much driving. But yeah, that would be a good job on the books. Morning, Chris. Which would make for a really cool tax return next year. And I'll still keep my LLC and my own business going for the other money that I'm making, doing saw building and climbing. I'll have both going. Crankshaft feels good. Feels a little tight, but let's check it out, man. What do we got here? This is the exhaust side of the piston. If this camera will zoom in nicely. Here's the top of the piston, Echo Red Armor. And it still looks nice and new over here, so that'll clean up nicely. Intake side of the piston looks... Is the camera focused on me? Camera won't stop focusing on my face. Oh no! Just bashed you with a piston. Let's see if I can do that again. Oh! Head knocker. Yeah, it won't stop focusing on me. Anyway, looks good. The coloring of the crankshaft and piston rod looks awesome. Alright, let's sink you back in there. Yeah, the intake side looks, let me feel it. Dude, is there any point in replacing this piston? I think what I'll do is I'll get a new compression ring and then measure this one versus, the old one versus the new one, and see if my compression ring is pretty well worn. Because I think that's what happens. After about a year of heavy use, they start to lose a bit of their torque, and I'm guessing the compression ring is starting to get worn out. Dude. Cylinder looks great. Combustion chamber has the some carbon, over there where it's banging and firing. And then the rest of it's all like new and glossy looking. That's wild. Yeah, and this is the Ripsaw one. They went wild on that exhaust, I'm telling you, man. So things I was thinking before I took this apart this morning is that, yeah, and they went pretty wild on the intake too. It's like really hard to, yeah, it sucks. But yeah, that upper lip there on the intake, they went pretty hard and heavy right there. They raised it up quite a bit. So I think that's where this thing lost its torque ability like the other ones I have. It's, just a little too much there and a little too much there. It only needs like a tiny little bit to open these things up and the air transfers. I don't know what it is about this one, like the Ripsaw one. It's probably because they opened it up quite a ways when you put it in choke, and then you put it forward and fire it. It runs up real high, and then when you pull the throttle, it gets the carburetor to where it's idling. And this Ripsaw build, when it revs up real high after getting it forward and firing it up, this thing revs wildly, like more wildly than any of the other ones I've built. Like it's almost got its own little signature thing to it. Anything I've done with them, like I can't seem to match that signature rev up upon starting. But I don't know if I'd want to. I was like, considering machining this one. Damn, this one looks like it's got a chunk out of the base there. Yeah, right there. Considering machining this one a tiny bit to bring the exhaust roof down. But then, what would that do to my intake? I don't know, man. Like, I know Mr. John Bob went and revisited these things and came up with something really cool. I don't know what it is. But I know that they're definitely fun to play with. No transfer work on that cylinder. No, they did. Yeah, you can tell that that large key thing is out of there, and they're widened up. There's no work on the upper transfers. They just went in with Dremels and opened up the lower transfers. If I was to machine this thing, I'd have to chalk up a mandrel for it. And right now, I've got a big fat mandrel on there. Hey, Tony, and I got John Bob here right now. That's cool. My lathe was not perfectly level back to front on both accounts, and it was heading down towards the tailstop. And I noticed on a cylinder as I went to go put it on the mandrel I had made, and a real snug one. I paid real close attention to getting it to where it would be like, a tight slip fit. So it's like it was going on, and then it would stop. So my mandrel was slightly getting bigger. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'm messing stuff up. I'm not cutting straight. Things not working right. I don't see how, you know. But anyway, I leveled it all. I got it level back to front, left to right. Tailstock is now level with the spindle, and I made a test cut and used the ways with the magnetic dial indicator and traveled the path, and it was spot on. So I think it's doing better now. I'll continue to make cuts and check it. And another question I had was, I got the mandrel and the hacksaw blade in the top of it. Let me get an example. Ah. You know, and I get this mounted up on the vise, and I got my cylinder, and I'm cutting the squish. So, if I am making a squish cut before making a base cut, how do I measure how much I'm cutting? Because I've never done it this way. I've always done it where I will make the base cut, and then obviously, you know, I start making a squish cut and get it to where I'm measuring it on the saw and checking my squish and finding out where it's at or where it's not at yet, and then I slowly work my way to where I get the squish set. And that's all I've done so far. I've never tried to measure how much I'm cutting out of the combustion chamber. I need a better table for my lathe. Mine is old wood, so it won't stay level long. Right? Mine's wooden cabinets, but they're damn sturdy. And but not quite sturdy. So I had to level up heavy duty, you know, thick, solid, good boarding with like a little steel slab, and then a secure mount against like the back wall and the table itself, and I got it to hold strong. Yeah, man. So I really got to use my brain here. I guess I could I don't know, it just seems kind of chintzy to me, but this might work. Where's all my cylinders? Cylinders, where are you? I know I have some cylinders here somewhere. Dude. This was a failed attempt. I hogged out the intake wildly. It's actually back now. Like, you can see that I have recreated the Strato intake with JB Weld because hogging it out just wasn't really working for me. It was acting super finicky. But I also freaking hogged the shit out of the lower transfer things there, and this is the 261 cylinder. And what I've been told now is none of that, none of that stuff. I don't think I'm touching the lower transfers or the Strato at all. And oh my god, dude, like, look how much I machined this thing. Just no. This was a super fail. Super fail. I machined the crap out of it. I made a squish relief cut. The exhaust is flipping hog wild, 99 degrees or something stupid like that. Like, I don't know, man. Small cuts with the mandrel, then redneck squish before cutting the base. So what does that mean? All right, so I got the mandrel, got the cylinder. I have this doohickey zeroed out. I guess I could measure what it is down to the squish band. Two inches. And 9 thousandths. .07. Oh yeah, there was carbon on the other side. Not like that would have helped anything. Just doesn't seem like this would be a really excellent way. .85. How the hell did that happen? Oh, I hit something on the way down. There we are. 2.1. Back to 0. .084. Yeah, so 2.084, 2.09. That seems to be what I'm hitting here. And if I'm cutting 30 thousandths, 35 thousandths out, that I'd want that to be 3.15, 3.02. But that would be with a whole different saw. I go off what the solder says. Yeah, but if you haven't cut the base yet, and you're cutting 35, you want to cut 35 thousandths out of the squish band, there's not going to be enough room for that solder. The solder is going to be like, it's going to be too tight in there. It's like not even going to work. Like the cylinder is, the piston is going to be hitting the top of the cylinder. So how to do squish band cuts before base cut. Wait a minute. No, that's not true. Yeah, it's going to be getting bigger in there. So if there's going to be like too much vast space to touch the solder, you know, what the solder was before versus am I just going to get bigger solder? I think I have a roll of bigger solder, but how much more big is it? How much more bigger? The hell was that? I heard something over there on the other side of the garage. Is this it? No? That's tape. Here it is. Big fat solder. 64, 63.5, 62, 0. So I guess it still might go beyond that, like if the squish is already, you know, whatever it is. I just heard something in the garage over here moving. It was probably a toad. I don't see anything. Anywho, I got a saw that's all dismantled now. Buckeye saws, John Bob. If you had a choice between a caber ring or an OEM piston ring, which one would you choose? Caber rings are a little cheaper. Are they any better than OEM rings? Exhaust, exhaust. This goes this way. Yeah, that seems kind of funny. Like the case doesn't really line up with the transfers. It's got this little chute there. I can see. Yeah, okay. Because of the age and the workings of it, I can see where the cutouts are here and printed on this. But do I want to do any case trenching? Yeah, there's the imprint from over here. They've got their own little cutouts in the case. our own design to it. I think that's where that key was before, so like that previously didn't matter. Marker. Where's my marker? Huh. There it is. That's right, little man hung it on a nail for me. Caber is pretty good. Yeah, if I was to ever do any case trenching, it would be now. And that would only need a small corner there. I like the way it comes up and over, and it would just kind of go like that, and then that would be open to flow up the transfers a little nicer. And this one over here actually pretty sweet the way it is. Like, I would just accentuate that a little bit because the transfers have been opened up. Same there. Heck yeah. Yeah, that would be cool. Okay. Over here, we'll look at it a little closer. Yeah. Oh, I heard a noise again. I think there's a rat over there. Huh. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's something over there. Got any Play-Doh? Works great for doing them cases. Oh, yeah? Just kind of pack it in around there. That's an idea. Okay. Yeah, because otherwise I'm using like tape and paper towels. What do I want right here, right now? I think I want to get this piston off of here. Oh yeah, I do have a new piston ring because I have a whole new piston in a box that I've been waiting someday to hook up one of these saws. All right, you are going in the magnetic tray, little guy. All right, where's my Craftsman? There's the Milwaukee. Dude, I almost stepped barefoot into the blade of an axe. That would not be a good idea. I'm sure that would cut right through my sandal and my toe. Where's my tools when I need them? I've got this little Craftsman like multi-tool thing that comes apart, and it's perfect for the size of getting wrist pins out and everything. Dude, the kids took out all my pieces. Not my idea, but it works great. Okay, so that one's out. That one's still in there. You know what? Different animal here. All right, there goes the wrist pin. There goes the little pieces and parts with it. Everything looks great, man. These pistons are so light. Cool. Yeah, we got Play-Doh. Definitely got Play-Doh. That goes there. I don't want to lose these pieces. That one goes there. It's just like the sizing of, I think it's this one over here, like this goes past the ring or the circlip, and this piece hits the wrist pin real well, and I can, you know, tap on this and get the wrist pin out real nicely. It's just, and then this side of it is like perfect for those little screws, those little nuts to get like the carburetor off, and they're hidden back in the plastic. This thing fits in there. It's an old tool. It's a Craftsman, and it's irreplaceable. So I guess I'm not doing much. I don't know. Do I want to try all this new stuff? Stuff with the intake, stuff with the lathe, stuff with the case. Yeah, maybe I'll do this stuff. That would be pretty cool. I could just see that flow in a little better. And if I do something on the lathe, I'll just do it on a microscopic scale, you know, just enough to bring the exhaust roof down a little bit, because holy crap, man. This one is just, you know, a bit too far on that damn exhaust, man. Yeah, it's way down there. Yes, it cuts fast, but no, sir, it doesn't have the amazing torque on the big live oak logs. I mean, I help all that along too with how I sharpen the chain, size file that I use, the angle you're giving the tooth and everything. Like, it all comes into play with how the saw is doing in the wood on the job sites. Another thing is, you know, you got this triangle here and this little plateau divot there and the big plateau divot over there. Do I want to mess with any of this stuff? I want to open up these transfers a little bit more down here. I'm trying to understand intake and exhaust. Now I got to get my head straight because I don't have the piston on there. There's the flywheel side. Okay, we're going to put it back like that. Okay, there's my motor. Flywheel side there. PTO side there, which puts the exhaust roof down. Yeah, this side goes over her. Got my flat side here, and everything there's pretty flat and uniform and shooting in right there. And then over here we've got the triangle and the plateau, and they've got what looks like a nice little air chute in the case shooting up towards the plateau side. And in the triangle they have a part of the case where, yeah, I guess I could see that, and they're just kind of keeping it separated. I don't know, man. And goes with that axe over the old Craftsman tools anymore. Yeah, dude, I heard that Craftsman was, made in the USA, but that was like years ago. And now it's made overseas, and the metals just aren't what they used to be. So, like, if you've got a new Craftsman X, your blade is, you're gonna get chips, and cracks and stuff like that because the metal's just not what it used to be. So I think, this one has Craftsman, made in USA, REG trademark, with an E stamp with 2 lines above it. Oh, the 2 lines and the 2 lines, and Craftsman. I've done a bunch of grinding and stuff, trying to keep it to where it's gonna bang wedges very nicely. I didn't hang this one straight, man. I didn't pay that close attention when I was hanging the mofo. Like, it has a little kilter forward, and I don't mind that, but it did come out kicked off that way a little bit. I would have had to, I believe, give it some more sanding over here to where it would have sat straight. You can tell it's kind of kiltered off that way. Now that way. But on the other side of the coin, like all my axe handles in the past, and it's weird because this axe handle and the one behind me had the exact same part number and label and everything. The size of the axe, the eye size, everything, American hickory, where it's made in Mexico, flipping all the way down to the barcode and part number and everything. Yet, this one they've got it cut away right here. So there's less wood to work with. And because of that, all the axes that I've built in the past have like an air spot right here, like where it's not closing in all the way. It's not seating, and the wood's not filling the hole completely. And then a different hardware store, I found this one, all the part number and everything like that I'm talking about, all the same. Came out and then like straight down. I was like, that dude, that's something. I can work with that. That's more wood, And up here, it came out with a tiny little divot of airspace that it didn't fill. And instead of those little straight wedges, I bought some of these circle wedges. I got a whole box of them for like $12 or something. It came with different sizes. I did the big one and then a medium one or small one in there after gluing and banging the wedge in there. And it flanged out a little bit here on the top, which is awesome. I know that's going to help, but I've just had problems with all the other ones I've made. And this one I've remade it more than a few times now with it starting to slide off. I've never had one just go flying off because I'll keep after it and keep it banged on there and but damn it, man. So I think this one's going to be better. I think this is going to be the one. At least I hope so. I hope that stays on there real firmly. I even soaked it in hot water for a while and then left it outside to dry to try to create some swell in there. And I've just been sealing it up every day and getting it all up in that tiny little hole, getting the tongue oil in there and all up and down the handle and stuff. This is great. Oh man, I love making an axe every year. I mean, it would be cool if it would last longer than that. I have the council tool axe in the truck, and that one is doing the slip-in thing. I'm hard up on money right now. I was just at the store, and I've been waiting for a new axe handle to come in, and one came in. There's only one there, and I need the money for it. I could go buy it today, but I'm trying to be careful with the money right now. I should go get it because, damn it, man. And I said it's the what do you say, that hardware store? It's not Harbor Freight. It's not Ace Hardware. It's the Tractor Supply store. They're the ones that have the better axe handle. Yeah, I should probably go to the Ace Hardware and return this one. It's all new. I got it from the Ace Hardware. I should go return this one, get my $20 back, and go to the other hardware store and buy that one. That's what I'm going to do. That's my mission today. And I don't even know if I have the aluminum to chalk up a mandrel for this thing. I've got one big solid piece of aluminum that I was doing that skim cut test cut with for the lathe to make sure it was cut and straight. But I'm kind of saving that for the next big saw that I'm going to work on. Or I think I'm going to remake the mandrel for the 261 because I don't think that the mandrel for the 261 is that perfect slip fit. I think it's a little too loose. Yeah, watching the spending. I've been getting better at it every year. When the taxes came, it went fast. Got a massage chair, which is flipping awesome. And the wife loves it, and I love it. It helps. It's got this spinal traction thing it does that helps with the herniated discs that I have in the neck. Brings a little motion and movement to the spine. That's pretty cool. and I caught up on all the bills. And she went to town on dressers and clothes and stuff like that. And the last bit of it I'm spending today to get the truck really nice. Finish off the truck. Did you see the short with the reflective emergency response unit and the chevrons in the back with the axe and the chainsaw? Like, that was a little pricey. That was like $700, and the trim is costing like $1,100. But with those two combined, man, the truck's gonna look super sharp. Paper or paints tape to take up the play on the loss of mandrels. Yeah, I did that. I messed one up. You know, it was a little too loose, and I used tape. One single layer of tape, and it was very firm on there. Like, I don't see the harm in that. I mean, there's a guy out there using a tube of biscuits to mount his mandrel. He's got the for the spicy builds. What does he use? It's like a can of Cheetos or something like that, and for and this lay this all wonky and on a table that like shakes and shit. I love that guy. I've been watching his videos lately, dude. That fucking had me rolling. Did you see that? That freaking video that he made? He's got the biscuits. And then I forget what he used for the spicy bills. And I know who he was talking about too. It was completely directed at that other guy. And I've seen where Fife and the other guy get into it and everything. And then I saw that one, dude. If I was sipping something, I would have spit my drink, dude. That was sick. Yeah. 729, 6% battery on the phone. Oh man, I've got a 9:15 appointment for the truck. What's the weather like up there? We just had like this cold front pass by yesterday, so it's cooler outside now. It's still a little windy, but it got really windy, and we had weather yesterday. We had rain and some thunder. And now we've got a couple of days of some cold weather. So, man, flurries today, flipping flurries. Yeah, the weatherman was saying for yesterday he couldn't rule out a chance of a tornado with that freaking front coming through the way it was. I have two locked up. I got the MS 391, I think it is. Yeah. Yeah, 391 and a 271. Is there any useful parts there? My buddy told me on the phone yesterday he had a carburetor he gave to Adam, and Adam called me. He didn't know how to put the carburetor on. He didn't have the tool to get in there and get the nuts out. He didn't even know they were there. But I met up with him, and he had a carburetor from a 291, and we put it on his 261. He had heard that they were the same thing. We put the carburetor on there. The chainsaw fired right up. It was already in tune as well. It worked very good. I called my dealer to ask about that, and he said it's not the same part number. You know, it's a whole different saw, commercial versus homeowner, and it's a different animal. That it's a different carburetor. He says that carburetor would work, but it's not the same carburetor that belongs on the 261. to force you to fall. Oh, I thought that was you. Buck, yeah, saws. I was like, what are you talking about? To force you to fail. So anyway, the two saws look like they've been straight gassed. They're locked up. But, you know, what's interchangeable? That's what I got to find out. Is that the same muffler? Goes on the 261. I mean, it looks different. It's probably cheaper. But it might be the same fit and size. I don't know. Do they use the same flywheel? Do they have the same ignition coils? When the kids wake up, I'm going to have to steal their Play-Doh. Maybe I'll take it now while they're sleeping. Put that like that. Or keep this up and pack it in that way. Or pack it that way. Yeah, probably that way. I don't know. A little there and a little there. Or that way. That would be cool. I can't say I know much about the model saws. Yeah, guy got them for free from somebody, obviously, because they were trashed, and asked if I could fix them up for him. And when I saw what I saw, he was talking about possible stormwater flooding. They're locked up, and took off the mufflers, and they weren't just locked up. Like, they were terrible looking inside on the piston and everything. And I was like, dude, these things are like straight gassed and locked up. Like, they're gonna go in the garbage. You can pick them up, or I can throw them in the garbage. Your choice. And he said just toss them. So I don't know. It's hard to throw away a saw. I know that at some point somebody's gonna be like, you know, can you fix my saw? And it's got something broken on it, and I'll have the parts right there. So I just need to hang them up. I need to put them on the shelf up over there in a corner somewhere, and hopefully they don't take up too much space for too long. That's it. I got this 28-foot fiberglass ladder. Rope on it, the pulleys on it, everything's good except for, like, you can put it up, but it won't come back down because the little black plastic clips are broken. The springs on them are broken. Now, this will be the first time I'm doing this, but I got the ladder repair kit for that part, and I'm hoping that that goes well and the ladder's functional, because it's a good ladder. It's got the triangle rubber footing at the top of it. So if you're on a pole or a palm tree, it just sits and grabs real well. It's a heavy ladder, but it's a good one. Yeah, there's lots of good parts on them. They look like they're in great shape. They just weren't treated very well. Died quickly. You know. If I had a mandrel that I was going to sacrifice for the 2511, it would probably be that loose fit 261 mandrel. mean, it's not terrible, but it's not very good either. 3% battery. Oh no. Oh, fucking murder this fucking phone, bro. Can't have that. And this one is for the 201, and it's flipping tight. So I had this 201 cylinder sitting back here, and I thought it was like, you know, one of the junk ones with the scoring inside of it and everything. Like, hell no. This cylinder is solid, man. So I think all I'm missing is like a handle. I've got like parts over there, a broken handle and all that, and I can build another 201, and that would be really nice. But I think I'm just waiting on the money or the parts to come in. It's hard to portray that perfectly. Yeah, you can hear it. That's what I'm trying to accomplish here. Later, man. If you go. Oh, no, I plugged it in. I'm still here. See, that's what I hated about wanting a tree on a normal ladder. Always felt like it was going to slide off trunk. Yeah, especially like on a really smooth palm tree, and that straight aluminum bar is on there, and it's like, you know, it's like, oh man, you got to go up real carefully, you know, as soon as you get up there, get your lanyard on it and just try to secure it. I like to go like inside the top piece of the ladder and around inside the other piece, and it, you know, helps lock everything in. And then I normally end up going above that anyway, but as far as that goes, that makes me feel better about it. So, and this one here, I believe, was for the Husky 572 XP. I should mark these things, but you know, what's the point when you go to hook up your cylinder? It's only going to fit one thing anyway. Sorry, I'm not really doing much. I really just wanted to tear down that saw and tinker 1.8 millimeter. I mean, no, this is 1.8 inch. And if I want to find out which saw it's for, 47 millimeter, 52 millimeter, I still don't know. Thought it was 572 XP. Oh, it's 72 cc's. What's up, Dan? Morning. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it. I will create. Oh, and this one's the shortest one out of the bunch too, and that would be for the smallest cylinder. So yeah, that'd be great for the 2511. Got a whole bunch more to lathe off of there. You know, should I even do this? Should I machine? Has anybody ever machined a flippin' 2511 cylinder? I know it's completely unnecessary, but in this case, it's the ripsaw cylinder, and they went wild on the exhaust, and I'm just trying to bring that exhaust roof down a little bit. I may have to epoxy the intake a tad, because machining it would bring that even more so open, but that's something I'd play with step by step. But I know the saw doesn't have a lot of torque because the exhaust is just way open. Super open, man. It's super fast. But you know, so are my other ones. And I didn't go crazy on the exhaust. So if there's ever a cylinder to play with, I think maybe this one. Cylinder looks flippin' great, man. It's all new and nice looking in there, and I can rehone it and give it a new piston and ring. I don't know. It's worth playing with. I haven't yet on the 2511. Yeah, neither have I. You know what? It's worth a shot. I don't think I'll ruin it. Like, I'm going to maybe take like 5/1000ths of an inch or something small, put it back together, see what I got. Also do that lower transfer matching, match casework matching, and yeah, see where it takes us. Oh, dude, this is my favorite spot in the morning. Have some coffee, watch videos, and work on my chainsaws. Now that Dan's in the chat. Check out the SS Battle Axe. I figured that's going to be good for grip. You know? Yeah, flipping the lettering and the deep grooving and everything right there at the handle. Like, I might as well do the other side up. Something right over here where my fingers go. Get some initials going right there. Yeah, my finger's right there on the SS Battle. High hopes for that axe. 2026. Well, what are you up to today, Dan? It does, man. It came out really good. We were talking about it earlier, flipping this different hardware store, same part number and tag and everything. Like, it just goes in right there, and there's not as much wood to work with, and it was not filling the hole of the axe heads. But at a different hardware store, same part number, same tag, the it did not. I mean, you can see it kind of like takes a turn right there, but no, it basically goes straight down. It and the other one did not. This one had plenty more wood to work with on filling the axe hole, so it's a hell of a lot more solid in my mind. I hope that holds up a lot better than any of the others. I hope it just stays on there forever. Lots of live oak cleanouts. Okay. Like a job where you have to do multiple live oak cleanouts in a day. Demossing. Demossing always sucks. And I pretty much get the yellow sticks out with the blade on it, and get some on there and start twirling it and rip it out. And good Lord, man. Yeah, I'm telling you, they went hog wild on this exhaust port. Yeah, fun stuff. Perfect weather. Yeah, dude. We just had a cold front come through. Weather front, nice big storm line and everything, and we're gonna have beautiful weather for the next couple of days. Today I get my truck work done. Tomorrow I'm doing some removals in Sarasota. Thursday I'm working with Save a Tree again, and if I have nothing scheduled for Friday, I'm back with Save a Tree on Friday. Save a super Shea from not working, man. I can at least get out there and put some money on the books with them. Dan. This is a 2511 piston after 3 years of use. That's the intake side. This is the exhaust side. Yeah, it looks good, man. It's so tiny, yeah. And it's like, it's so light. I felt like if I dropped it, it would crack or something. They're so cute. And I got the quarter pitch sprocket for it. Sprocket. Come on, magnets, let go. Drop that. The sprocket's starting to, just starting to see some wear in there. I got like an aftermarket one that had no part number on it one time. And the second job I was on, my saw got locked up, and I took it apart at home and saw that the sprocket was completely gouged in, man. It was done. It was like they chalked it up on a 3D printer real quick or something. It was so cheap. 616, what's up, man? Live in the flesh. Archer. I got an Archer sprocket in one of them. I'm probably the one over there. It was cheap, and it is good. It looks brand new, and I think it's almost a year old, and it still looks like it's brand new. So that's cool. 25 bucks for that sprocket. I've still yet to do the Oregon conversion kit for the 2511s. I feel like it would be better for palm trees somehow, like the quarter pitch and the tiny teeth and the crap that you've got to go through with palm trees. Like, it might be better to have the Oregon, medium size bar and chain on there with the 7-tooth sprocket. Maybe it's worth a shot. It'd be cool to try. Maybe I'll do it with this saw that I'm tearing down. I don't know why I'm tearing it down, man. I just want to play around with something. Try something new. Refresh my brain on how these 2511s are pumping, because I know that I've got a build coming soon. My buddy got his hands on mine. He's been using the 194 because it's a little lighter than the 201, but he's got back problems, and so he wants a light saw. And when he got his hands on my saw and started tearing down large logs with it, working out of his bucket truck, he fell in love. And he's got to get himself one of these for, like, the sake of his back and his freaking humanity. So I know he's going to be buying one soon. He's probably fishing around for a deal, trying to get one that's close to new. Can you port my Ryobi? I call it the Cryobi. I don't know, man. I believe that most of those saws are like, they've got a good flat base cylinder on them, so it's possible to bump up the compression and get more out of those things. How would the carburetor on those things handle it? I don't know. I can't tell you. I haven't tried yet. Like my father-in-law, he had a Craftsman, and it was not running well, and I dismantled it. It was mainly like the air filter system sucked, and it was allowing dirt down into the little chute that goes to the carburetor. It was really packed in there with crud, and didn't have to get any new parts. So just cleaned everything up real nice, and I played around with his exhaust and polished it up for him. Got the muffler more open, but tried to keep it to where it wasn't like a loud saw. And because of that intake, that saw is going to continue to give him issues, and that sucks. But what can you do? A Ryobi, man, a Ryobi. Where did you buy it? The Depot. Right? I don't know, man. I don't know. You can send it to me. I can clean it up and play with it. You never know until you get into them. Man. What do I have to do today? What am I gonna do today? I mean, I've got the 2511 dismantled. I gotta leave in a little bit. That's why I'm not doing nothing to go get the truck dropped off, and then I'll be back here. I don't know if I should mess with these, man. I've seen it where people, they open up these sides of the, trying to get like better, lower fuel flow, lower transfers and everything, but you're messing with the case volume. And the design that they've created here. Bill Hopper has a good formula. Does he share it? Bill Hopper's really cool. I like hopping in on his lives. He's got the solder day. Yeah, he's seems like he's pretty open with everything that he does. I had one of these, man, and I think I went like super wild on it, intake and exhaust and transfer ports and everything. I don't know if it was lack of torque that made me bench it. I don't know. Revisit, try some things out. And then there's guys that will cut out of the piston as well to match. I don't know, dude. It's worth pondering. Okay, that goes to that. This one goes, oops. This one goes in here. This piece goes right here. All right, we've got flywheel side. Exhaust. So we got flywheel there, intake there. Yeah, it would go this way, which would put the exhaust roof down. Can I get it together? There we go. Wrist pin in. Miniature hammer. Something's going on. There it goes. Okay. What am I pondering here? Okay, so exhaust goes down to about right there. That's its lowest point, bottom dead center. So that is real tight. I mean, if I cut out of the piston to open up the lower transfer fuel feed, is that actually going to help anything? Like, I mean, it's got it to where it, like, you know, bottoms out in there real nicely, and that might have something to do with the pressure of it moving back up. Blue smoke out of the exhaust, too rich. I got a backpack blower. I can keep running. You can't keep running. Oh, Dano's out. Have a good day, Dano. Gotta get some ropes up. Yeah, he's going into some live oaks. Yeah, I can't. What kind of backpack blower? I've never worked on one of those. I dismantled my Echo hand, you know, small blower. Completely cleaned and polished the exhaust and opened it up a tiny bit and got the rubber pieces out of there so I could adjust the carburetor. I got it running like it was new, probably a little better. Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to mess with that. Maybe the flow of the case, I can see that, but, you know, this thing's coming down, and they've got it real tight there. But I bet that's for a good cause, man, because you want that pressure to build to keep the motion of the piston being able to fly back up. You take away the sides of the piston, and you're not going to build as much pressure to shoot the piston back up and squeeze all the fuel up the transfers as you can. I don't know. Then there's these things. I guess this is what I'm really pondering here. Intake goes up here. These would be over here. Those really close down in there. If anything is restricting the flow as the piston's coming down, it's going to be the case here. But is it restricting? Yeah, this one runs just fine. Those were not touched. God, I don't know, dude. One thing at a time, I guess. One thing at a time. Yeah, that seems pretty wild. I don't see the harm in that. I'll level them out. That needs to be there. That doesn't line up. And that needs to be there because, yes. But as far as these triangles go and everything, I will just give that a nice open shape there, like we have on the other side. Maybe bring that down a hair. That way I'm not messing with the case volume too much. But I'm also going to decrease case volume by machining the cylinder down a little bit too. So I think this is going to work out quite nicely. Dude, I need more coffee. You got an Echo also from the depot? Yeah, dude. I seriously think about, working on some Echoes. Do I have water in here? Not enough. Hang on. So I've got the Husqvarna 572 XP. This came from Save-A-Tree, had busted gas tank, and they had this other one with all sorts of issues. But when you get into them, they've got like new motor, new cylinders, new pistons. I did trim the skirt on mine. Oh, that's Buck. Yeah, I thought that was 616. I was like, what did you do? The skirt on your piston? Or on the cylinders? When this thing is at its bottom, it's got like probably 60 thousandths of an inch in there for, stuff still squeezing and squirting out. Yeah, on the cylinder. Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, I don't touch the engines. I phone a friend. Hell yeah, phone a friend. Yeah, I think I'd want to keep that pressure in there. the way it is and everything to skyrocket that piston back up into existence, keep all that going, but create better flow with the case and the cylinder there. I don't know, this could be really cool. This could be very cool. This is the second ripsaw cylinder that I've tampered with. Itchy eyes, blame the pollen, my phone says. I'm just here for the moral support. You're right, Obi, will be just fine. Hot water. So, if I was to create a mandrel for the 2511, I would start here. Yeah, like that one. The shorty. Best part of waking up is folds in your cup. Look what I have. Honestly, I don't have that. That's my wife's. I am not to touch that. If I take that with me to work, I'm gonna get an earful. That is hers. The M18 hatchet. Thing's fun. Thing's pretty badass though, dude. I was in a tree and got my 2511 pinched, and you cannot pull your 2511 out of a bad situation because you'll tear the intake boot. And it was pinched that tight, so luckily she was down there. I mean, I could have gotten any saw, but like as a send up to like get yourself out of a pinch, that was perfect. Yeah, I don't like this one. I wouldn't use this mandrel on anybody's 261 cylinder. I tried it with my own, and I don't see any issues with any of my builds so far, other than the fact that they suck. But yeah, this is gonna be my 2511's mandrel. You guys got bumped by a cylinder. The mandrel mounts on the lathe, and the tailstock mounts right here. I got a live center, so that it spins, you know, and your cylinder mounts on the mandrel, and then you get your live center on the cylinder there, and spins extremely fast. And you come in with your lathe, and you make cuts on the base of the cylinder, and that's all there is to it. Now, I made this on the lathe, so since this one has gone too far and is not going to be up to par with machining the 261 cylinders from here on out, I am going to make it for the 2511. There's going to be quite a bit of material that has to come off of there to get it down to the size. You want to see the lathe 616? I had to unplug. Phone was going to die. Let's see here. Where can we be set up for this situation? Dude, I don't know. God, that's bright. This is my practice cuts. This is the lathe. This is this freaking bolt I created to mount this quick change tool post onto my lathe, because the tool post that came with it, you know, it's not very good. It's like this one here, you have to get your piece mounted and get your tooling mounted, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's nice if you can keep your tooling there. I can, when I want to use a different piece of tooling for a different operation or a different cut, you know, I can just change it out pretty quickly. My tail stock here, I recently took it apart and played with it underneath to get it tighter to where I could really actually get the tailstock snug and tight. I don't have a live center right now because I was taking it off, and I would usually, yeah, sorry, the view here is like, better. So with the tailstock, and the live center would be in there, and it's this real tight fit. And what I would do is I would just get this bolt here, put it there, and it would as you back it off, it would just pop that loose. And it was in there real tight the last time, and it wouldn't pop loose, you know. I mean, I just gave it some more pressure and it popped out, but the pressure I put on it, I don't know if you can see it, but it's not true anymore. Like, I bent it. It's got, you know, bearings and stuff in there and whatnot. So I have a new one coming. It's coming on Monday or Tuesday. And it's actually, like, it's designed a little differently, which is going to be cool because it's going to allow more room for a cutter and work in the tight area between where this connects and your mandrel is. And it's probably going to be a better one. Yeah, I think so. That one's junk. And that's the last time I do that. From now on, I'm just going to, like, double up a wrench that'll, you know, hit it from both sides and back it out, and that'll pop it off nicely without putting a side load on it. Ugh. I got this freaking curtain up here that I can drop to, like, encapsulate the lathe, so when I'm going to town on a mandrel and getting it down to size, it just kind of helps contain all the little metal chips that go flying around everywhere. This thing, man, you gotta always be after it with your little Allen keys and how you want the ways to react, if you want them to move smoothly or if you want them to be real tight for a different style cut, you know, a different angle cut, and tight in different places, loose in different places. It's got to keep after it. But yeah, let's see here. If we're gonna be doing all that, then I like the way this came out. I don't know if I should be even lathing anything without my live center. I have a dead center on it right now. I mean, I guess it's okay. here's our piece. Close down on this, and that's not going to work. That's all the way closed. I'm going to have to open up. GP in the house. Oh shit. Nice. All right, so what do we do here? I got this new one from Neotech, and I got this one here. Tailstock out of the way. This guy coming in. We're gonna have to come down. That to rotate right there. Bring this in a tad. Looks like right on 40, nope, 41. Yeah, right there. Wow, yeah, that came out nice and true, left and right. That's pretty cool. So right now I just want to find out where the very top of this is. Very top of the mandrel. Seems to be 41. Okay, 41. 1 half, 2 halves, then it's coming down. Half, 2 halves, 3, it's coming down. Right about there. I need to get a brass hammer. I don't have that yet. I just have this little guy. Bruh. Wow, this thing is really close already. I'm gonna give it a little snug up. I'm on 40. I'm on 40. I'm just below 40. I'm on 40. I'm on 40. Just below 40. 39 and a half. Back on 40. Below 40. Up to 40. Oh. 40, 39, 40. Okay, back up. Back up. I had it better before. Okay, I'm within thousandths of an inch. I'll crank her down a bit more. All three. There we go. I'm gonna break my thumb trying to do that. Just use my palms. Yeah, upon cranking it down. Yeah, it's like 3/4 of thousandths. There we go. Within a half of a thousandths. Sweet. I hear a loud toy coming from inside the house. There are children awake. All right, so cool. Oh no, my magnet. There we go. Release the magnet. This can get put away. I don't know why I have a scraper over here. So we got a big fat cylinder, a big fat mandrel, and a little tiny cylinder. So quite a lot of material needs to come off of this. But oh shit, it's 8:23, so I gotta go. Kids are awake. I need to get dressed. Gotta get the truck to the dealership to get the trim done on it. And shoot, I'll be back later, man. We'll continue on toying around with a 2511 cylinder. What are you talking about, GP? I gotta get them wrote up. Yeah, dude. I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but getting a check off to Greg Brown because you want to get a base that's gonna like really mount onto the tree, dude. I mean, yeah, you're cranking with that thing, You're lifting, you're pushing, you're pulling, you're everything. You want that thing to be like freaking on the tree. And I imagine most times you're using it, it's on a flipping removal anyway. And if it's not a removal and you got to use it, then yeah, bust out the towel. Don't the things. I washed my rope. Came out really nice, but it still has a bit of sap doing the things. Yeah, man. Oh. Driving, bruh. Okay. All right, yeah, I really better go. I want to hang out, but I'll chime back in later and start toying around with that cylinder, man. I'm gonna try some crazy stuff. I'm gonna take the Ripsaw ported cylinder from 3 years ago. It's good, it's clean, it's running well, but they went wild on the exhaust and it doesn't have a lot of torque. So I'm gonna see if I can change that. See if I can bring it back to a little monster that it should be. All right, guys, talk to you later.